back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, and we are coming to you from remote, as a matter of fact. And it's mid-morning when we're doing this, and it's kind of interesting because I'm actually in the bar at the University Club at Michigan State University. Not a typical place for me to be at this hour, but we are being joined by Dave Washburn. That's not to infer that that is a typical place for him to be, because that is absolutely not too. He's the executive director of the Michigan State University Foundation. Let's start out, Dave, letting everybody know what that is, the Michigan State University Foundation.
Good morning, Chris, and I can vouch that the University Club has great coffee. So I know you're drinking coffee. The Research Foundation is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. We're a nonprofit research foundation affiliated with Michigan State. Our objective is to help the university accomplish their goals around economic development, partnerships, technology transfer, startup companies, and research park development.
Recently, Michigan business leaders say that Michigan's economic development strategy is kind of outdated. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I read the report, and I think what I pulled from the report was that I think they set up a reminder that perhaps it would make sense that we continue to remind ourselves to diversify the programs and diversify the economy, as opposed to having a sort of leaning in or a particular bias in a particular industry sector or an industry cluster. I think that's what I sort of pulled from that. I think the idea is that the Michigan economic development strategy has a sort of robust, holistic approach, and I think it's there. I think the state's been executing against a strategy that is holistic in its approach. It just, when I read the report, it felt like it was sort of a reminder to stay diverse.
Well, listen, as the executive director of Michigan State University's Research Foundation, in what ways do you think Michigan's economic development strategy is working?
Well, I'm closely affiliated with the university, so I see a lot of exciting things around educating young people, bringing students from the greater Michigan, the state, to our university to educate them. I see really great and inspiring programs between Michigan State and Lansing Community College. So there's a pathway for a high school student going to LCC to make their way to Michigan State. I think those things are really exciting. And our involvement in entrepreneurship and technology commercialization, I think there's a lot of great programs in the state around high tech, high growth, incubation, early stage startup activity. There's a number of smart zones around the state that I think are doing good things. Of course, we'd love to see more early stage financing and early stage seed funds.
Well, and you mentioned the MEDC, but there are a lot of resources here available in the state of Michigan for, in particular, second stage and prior to that, startups.
Yeah, we partner with the City of Grand Rapids, and through their Smart Zone, we partner with LEAP here in Lansing, and we run a number of different programs with those partners to help launch new technology companies using programs that these organizations have put together, either through TIF capture or through pass-through grants that they've achieved, and a lot of these are designed to help launch new companies and provide that non-dilutive funding to get a company incorporated, get the company on their feet, and get them going with a business plan. We're very involved with that, and I think what's working here is our partnerships with these organizations.
I found it kind of interesting that Tennessee's economic growth, it was a case study in this Michigan Business Leaders Report. Is there anything key we can take away from that?
Well, I used to live in Tennessee before I got here. I don't know if you remember, in 2014, before arriving at Michigan State, I was the CEO of the UT Research Foundation, and I was involved in a lot of things at the state of Tennessee, including the things around Launch Tennessee, for example, and the state of Tennessee's biotechnology initiatives. I guess my takeaway from being involved there was they did have a holistic approach. I think it took a lot of time. I saw the report talked about in the past 6 years, they've really made a lot of strides. I can tell you that these programs have been in place for decades, so it takes a long time. I think the other thing the report doesn't mention, but I do think is important, is that personal income tax matters. Warm weather and personal income tax matters. And I do think that, that's a factor that wasn't mentioned in the report, but I do think that these things are reasons why we're seeing a lot of migration to warmer states that have less of a tax burden for individuals.
Well, and I think there's a lot of things that other states can take away from what we're doing entrepreneurship wise. And I know that's where you guys live, and what you've done out there from a tech transfer standpoint has been pretty incredible. Dave, we're going to have you back on, because we got to talk a little bit, and we got to talk about those successes, because you've had your fair share of them.
We'd love to do it. Thank you so much.
All right, look forward to it. Dave Washburn, he's the executive director of the Michigan State University Research Foundation. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. We'll be right back with more. I'm Chris Holman.